Well, we have no written records from prehistory, so we don't have documents of that type to prove that women artists of the Neolithic period, the New Stone Age, created artwork. However, there's every reason to believe that they did. We do have cultures that survive into the 19th and into the 20th century that essentially are still Neolithic cultures. Australian Aborigines, Native Americans, other native peoples. And in many of these cases, there are traditional women's crafts, things like weaving and fabric design, basket making, and pottery could be performed by women, as well as by men. Now, when I say Neolithic, we're talking about prehistoric cultures, cultures before written records, in which the people have settlements, probably living in villages, and they're starting to create things like weaving fabric, or basket making, or pottery. But they don't just create the most minimal, say, pot that will serve the purpose of holding something. Human beings seem to be driven to create beauty, interest, and so as we'll see, the pottery comes in all different shapes and is embellished with decoration. So we can call this art. I'm just going to show you a few examples that I found on the web. This is a Neolithic textile. It's said to be the oldest textile that still survives. It's a fragment of linen from Fayum, Egypt, and is supposed to date from about 5000 BCE, or about 7,000 years ago. And of course, weaving is very often a traditional woman's work and a traditional woman's craft. We have Neolithic pottery from many countries. I'm just going to show you a few. This is Neolithic pottery from Britain. And as you can see, it's made out of native clay. I have two different shapes here, so making interesting shapes. And then they have embellished the surface with decoration, which isn't necessary to the function, but helps create a unique, more beautiful work. So here we have incised lines that create a texture and a pattern. Perhaps a little more sophisticated and more colorful are some examples of Neolithic pottery from ancient Greece. And as you can see, they're using colored clays, colored slips to create different patterns. And here are some examples of Neolithic pottery from China that are said to be 5,000 to 3,000 years old. Now, we have no way of knowing whether the potter, or if there was a division of labor, the person who created the decorations, whether that person was male or female. Both males and females create pottery. But there's no reason to think that women did not create pottery, baskets, weaving during the Neolithic period, and every reason to believe that women were part of cultures that created what we now call craft, but essentially could be utilitarian art and decoration.